Welcome to the 7th grade blogging unit, created and presented by Dana Prendergast and Corinne Tagansky. Students participating in the unit are 7th graders between the ages of 12 and 13. About 70% of the students are Hispanic and come from primarily Spanish-speaking homes. About 65% of the students come from low-income households with little to no access to technology at home. The students we work with have a wide range of skills and levels on the computer. They also have a very diverse learning skills, abilities, and styles. There are a few students with special needs who are accompanied by a one-on-one aide. There are multiple objectives that we would like our students to achieve by the end of the unit. Our school specifically has technology standards for students to follow. The first standard would be that the students are able to understand and apply basic concepts of software and their applications. The second one would be that the student demonstrates appropriate use of internet and internet sites. The three specific objectives that we would like students to accomplish by the end of the unit would first be that students are able to create meaningful posts and comments to others. The second one is that students will be able to demonstrate how appropriate netiquette corresponds with blogging online. Our final objective is that students will be able to edit their text, photos, and insert media into their kid blog posts. The teaching and learning strategy we felt fit best was Madeline Hunter's instructional theory into practice. The learning objective that is being used is to specify the skills that students will learn throughout the unit. The anticipatory set is a short BrainPop video called Online Etiquette that we will look at momentarily. The objectives will be displayed and discussed so that students understand what they will be learning and why they are learning it. Oftentimes, students question why they need to learn specific tasks or ideas in the school setting, and through our objectives, they will see the reasoning why they need to learn what we'll be going over. For the input, students will be presented with information about blogging. Modeling will be shown through demonstrations of how to use kidblog.org, as well as students looking at examples. We'll check for understanding through the students working on a paper blogging activity, where they will handwrite their blog post on a piece of paper and then read it and comment on it to others. None of that will be done digitally, but students will be able to practice blogging. For guided practice, students will complete a blog graphic organizer before they begin blogging. Finally, for independent study, students will work independently to use our website, kidblog.org. The primary technologies that students will be utilizing are their computers, as well as the student blogging platform, kidblog.org. Day number 1 of the unit, students will take a technology survey, and they'll also watch a short video with an intro to blogging. They will have some classroom discussion, visit multiple different blogging examples, and follow it with an exit ticket. A quick overview of the blogging intro video would look like such.
You've seen the word, you've seen the websites, and you may even have one. But have you ever wondered, what's the big deal about blogs? To make sense of blogs, you have to think about the news and who makes it. We'll look at news in the 20th century versus the 21st century to make our point. In the 20th century, the news was produced professionally. When news happened, reporters wrote the stories and a tiny group of people decided what appeared in a newspaper or broadcast. Professional news was mainstream, general, and limited. The 21st century marked the point where news became both professional and personal. A new kind of website called a weblog, or blog for short, came onto the scene that let anyone be a reporter and publisher, often for free. As blog
With day number 2, students will focus on reviewing and understanding proper netiquette while being presented with a short BrainPop video on how to perform proper etiquette online. Students will work in groups to complete netiquette posters. Here's a short preview of the BrainPop video on digital etiquette that the students will also view.
Hey, watch where you're going. What did you call me? No, I'm not talking to you until you apologize. In there! That's better. To Tim and Moby. What's the deal with digital etiquette? From George.
Once the students are done watching that short video clip, in their groups, they will work on completing netiquette posters with proper understanding of how to appropriately speak with people online. Those posters can then be posted around the classroom for future reference. With day number 3, students will complete the paper blogging activity. Day number 4, students will learn how to use kidblog.org and complete a blog graphic organizer in preparation for their blogging assignments. With that graphic organizer, they will start to brainstorm ideas that they would want to actually write for their blog online. With day number 5, students will begin creating their blog using KidBlog. They will need to edit their text, their background, and add media to their post. Some examples of media could be pictures or potentially a small video clip. With day number 6, students will publish their blogs and practice typing thoughtful and appropriate comments to their classmates' blog posts. We have multiple options for differentiation for students in the classroom. Flexible grouping, speech recognition program called Dragon, differentiated worksheets depending on students' needs, as well as a modified assignment so that it will meet each student's individual needs so that they can be successful in each step of the way. The first handout students would receive, it would be on the very first day. This handout goes over some basics of blogging. It also shows an example of what a blog might look like. There's a graphic, a title, and their final post. After that, students will have an area to share their thoughts on the blog examples that they have read and viewed online. The second handout students will receive is for their paper blogging graphic organizer. As mentioned previously, students will come up with a title that they would want for the blog they would write about, and then the body here, just handwrite their story or their thoughts for their blog. With the third handout for students, this is the KidBlog graphic organizer that they will use for their posts that they will eventually put on kidblog.org. There's various topics that they can use, as well as the area to put the title in, and where they would want to write the body or their actual content for their blog post. Here is where they can draft up what they might say online so they can get a better understanding of what they want to share with their classmates and what they might want to wait. The final handout that students would receive is the project guide for kidblog.org. With this project guide, it gives them a visual example of what the home screen might look like, vocabulary words, school rubric, and project outcomes. And then on the back side is where students will get step-by-step instructions along with visuals on how to set up, type, add visuals, and finally post their blog to kidblog.org. A sample student artifact of what their post could possibly look like is here. At the top, they will have a visual aid of a picture, the title of their post so students can know what the theme might be, and then finally their body of what they're writing about inside. The students will have to include at least one form of media that has to do with their actual topic. The unit is an example of redefinition. The technology enables students to share their thoughts, feelings, and ideas with others outside of their normal environment and connect with a new environment, the world. With the specific blogging platform, students are connecting with classmates and gaining different perspectives on various topics. The ability to gain other perspectives on events and ideas was not as easily available for students to do so before blogs, as it would be difficult to connect with people outside of their current environment. By doing blogging, it helps students of all sorts expand their perspectives and understanding of those around them. To evaluate student learning of content, I would use different formative assessments throughout the unit, such as discussion, peer assessments, think, pair, share, constructive quizzes, exit slips, and finally a rubric. In order for us to evaluate the design, we would look at the result of the student assessments. From those results, we would determine areas of concern where the student understanding was not as high as expected. Then we would have to go back and examine the lesson. At the end of the unit, an online survey would be conducted to gather student feedback and reflect on the strengths and possible weaknesses of the unit plan.